Well, good afternoon, Oaknoll. Here we are on June 24th, 2020. It's a beautiful day outside, and I have an appointment at 3 o'clock in the dunk tank in the health center parking lot if you're interested in watching that spectacle. I'm hoping that the staff choose to dunk Steve Rowe. Here we are, nearly forever involved in the coronavirus pandemic, and I know Steve talked about last week lifting the restrictions in independent living, possibly, and I don't know if you've noticed, but since he said that, the cases of the virus have exploded in Johnson County. It's starting to happen in Lynn County as well, but right now I'm just concerned with Johnson County, who has experienced double-digit increases in the virus for the past 6 days in a row. One of the days was 26 cases, and so we are definitely in an uptick or a surge of the virus activity in people who are 18 to 40. There has not been an increase in older adults, but the worry I have about your kids and grandkids and all of our employees being impacted by this virus is real. So my message to you today, as I said in the family update yesterday, is that we're unable to lift any restrictions at this time safely, considering the entire campus and not just the restrictions in the licensed area. So if you're living in independent living and you're feeling like you are being held to the same standards as the residents in the health center and assisted living, you're not exactly being held to those restrictions as an independent living person, but you are also at risk for this virus. And with the activity that is widespread in our county due to a number of reasons, if you need a list, I'll tell you Memorial Day started it. Opening up the bars and the restaurants has continued it, and then the protests in our county have led to large groups of people, most of whom are wearing masks, but not everybody. So there are various, and the weather, honestly, it's beautiful outside. So if you would please consider hanging on for another couple weeks while I ask the neighbors of ours in Johnson County to sort of squash the virus activity. That doesn't mean you can't go outside. It doesn't mean that you can't play bridge in your apartment with a few of your Oaknoll friends. It doesn't mean you can't play poker. It doesn't mean that you can't continue to come to the dining rooms, but it does mean that if you have non-essential medical appointments scheduled for the next couple weeks, I would postpone them again. If you are meeting people for lunch at a restaurant, I would reconsider. If you really don't want to reconsider, then I would make sure to be seated outside because the virus risk, the contamination is less when it's dispersed with the air outside. I know that's not a message that any of you want to hear, and it's certainly not a message that Steve and I want to give, but we have been wildly successful so far in this pandemic, and the reason that we've been successful is because we're all in it together. We started early with restrictions, and we have tried to make the safest choices that we can, given the circumstances that we're under. I wanted to have a chance to answer some questions this time, but I didn't have any questions to answer aside from bridge and poker. So if you have questions or if you want to talk to me directly, I'm certainly available. My extension is 3014. I can answer emails anytime. But if you have specific questions that you're wondering about, I'd be glad to answer them. You know, if you're going out in public, please wear a face covering, stay socially distanced from people, wash your hands all the time. When in doubt, wash them again, cover your cough, and if you don't feel well, or if someone you know doesn't feel well, please encourage them to stay away from you. I think that's all I can talk about concerning the current spike in the cases in Johnson County. Now for some good news. I did want to reassure everybody that all the test results are back. We tested all of the assisted living residents for the coronavirus, all the health center residents, all of our staff, our therapy staff, our salon staff, music therapy assistant and a rec therapy assistant and our dietitian and anybody else I could think of that would be appropriate staff-wise, and every single one of those tests came back negative. That, I just would like you to take a minute and really appreciate the care and concern that has gone into every single person in this community keeping each other safe. So for every staff person who has missed a wedding or not gone to the bar or skipped Adventureland or didn't go to Disney World, all of the sacrifices that everyone's made, and for all of the residents who have not seen their family members and loved ones since March 9th, I want to thank you. I don't know when the end is coming for this virus, but I know it will come, and we just have to be patient and support each other and hold each other up while we're struggling through the losses that we've experienced since March. It's not just limiting your ability to move about, but it is a loss of freedom, it's a loss of independence, it's a loss of routine, and I think all of those are really ripe for grieving. And so take good time to take care of yourselves and reach out to take care of each other. That is my favorite part of this community, and it's the reason we've been so successful. I can't think of a better place that I would rather be in the middle of a pandemic than right here in the middle of Oaknoll. So please reach out to me if you have any needs or concerns, or if you just want to say hi. Your friends who are people like me, we're sort of missing everybody. So reach out, don't hesitate to give me a jingle. Let me know how you're doing, and I'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Thank you, and take care.